So Gas Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce XXV, double I.
Rome.
Thibodeau, Gruff Lion,
T-Boogie, man.
to the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Hey, that intro music crank every time, bro. I swear. Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite sports show. Gas presents sports for the culture. I'm your host tonight at Bryce XXV double I, aka Mr. Big Leaguer, aka my mama's favorite gas panelist. As always, I'm joined by the gang. I'll start with the bottom left. Introduce yourself, sir.
It's been a while, fellas. I just want to say, let's take a moment of silence for all the bum-ass Knicks fans. It's your number one Knicks hater. I just want to say, I told you bums. I just got that second round win because it was just bad coaching on one end and just stupid plays. My hatred for the NBA game right now, it's the fact that people forget about the mid-range. I love the mid-range game. That's the reason. Well, we'll get into it about the finals, but just want to say ha to all you bum-ass Knicks lovers.
Yeah, you are definitely the resident Knicks hater. We're going to get into that topic first just for you, G. Thanks for mentioning it. Top right, introduce yourself.
T-Boogie, man. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Head coach Gasoline AU. Hey, man, I'm here, man. You know me, man. I'm just ready for some good topics, good conversation, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it. It's NBA Finals talk. It should be a good one. And last but not least, bottom right, introduce yourself.
You know what it is, your boy Young Rome 22 on all socials as always, man. Excited to talk NBA Finals with you boys tonight. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. So before we get to the finals, we gotta do this topic for G, man. He called himself the biggest Knicks hater. I think I would agree. And sometimes y'all be wondering like where your hate for the Knicks originated, because it just seems so spirited. So your hate is so passionate, man. Tell me where this hate for the Knicks originated, bro, before we get into this topic.
Got to charge it.
Talking to the God hater, the hater God.
It's funny. I live by the train tracks, but no, my hatred comes so. I'm based out of Jersey. In New Jersey, it's either Giants, Jets fan, but most importantly, Cowgirls fans. So we all know how Cowgirls are very obnoxious. Always gonna win the Super Bowl. Always got the best team. We're never gonna lose. Yada yada yada. But imagine that now with the Knicks. Like imagine that fan base said we're always gonna be in the finals. We're gonna just be in the Eastern Conference Champions during the Miami Heat run. Oh man, Melo and them boys are gonna take us there. No, the fuck, you guys ain't gonna win shit. It's always, man, fuck. I'm like, all right, man. When KD hurt his Achilles, oh man, see that's what he gets for going to the Nets. Should have came. It would never have been over here at Madison Square Garden. I'm like, all right, man. How y'all gonna pray for the poor man's downfall, bro? I'm like, all right, whatever. All right, whatever. We're gonna be best. Look, Julius. I'm like, all right. And when Brunson came around, oh my God, we're just gonna be that much of a better team. We're these champions. We're gonna go to the finals, to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're gonna dominate. I'm like, bro, like your squad does not know how to draft. You got to just either get these players to sign in or trade. But you guys don't know how to build a foundation. You tell these guys that, they're like, they don't want to hear it. They swear that Tibbs is like the second coming of what's my man for the Lakers? I can't fucking say his
Phil Jackson.
There you go. They say he's the second coming of Phil Jackson for New York. The original one couldn't do it as a GM, but this guy out of a sudden could do it for them. I'm like, bro, they swear that Julius Randle wasn't the reason why Tibbs got to stay in New York. The reason why a lot of off-season trades and off-season signing made Tibbs look like a good coach. I personally believe it was Julius Randle that made Tibbs look like a better coach after the fact he was relegated to a defensive coordinator with the Magics. People tend to forget that after he lost his job in Minnesota, he was a defensive coordinator. But
D coordinator in basketball is crazy.
I digress.
Disrespectful, bro.
That is
Bro,
insane.
Disrespect.
Well, appreciate you giving us that origin story, bro. I did always wonder why you hated him so much. Good to have some background there. So let's get into it, man. Like, first topic is thoughts on Knicks firing Tibbs. Like, obviously, I think this was a bit of a shocker considering the Knicks. Nobody had them, pegged into being in the Eastern Conference Finals before the season started. I thought personally Tibbs was a big reason for that. So, do y'all think this firing was justified? Ron, we start with you.
Hell nah, this wasn't justified. This firing made little to no sense. Maybe you guys, have a different take, smart me up a little bit on it. But from where I'm sitting, it made zero sense. The Knicks have not been relevant really until he got there. He's been a part of their ascension the last few years. So to get as far as you've gotten in my lifetime, and then to fire the coach is insane work. It's insane work. Now, maybe you view him as the guy that's not going to get you over the hump. Maybe that's the case, but I'm telling you, what you're doing is you're rolling the dice. Because unless you already got, a star-studded coach lined up that is going to get you over the hump, then you're just rolling the dice. Because I don't know who said it, but somebody in the group chat already said they'll be in the play-in next season, and that's probably more than likely. Because your squad overachieved this year, and when a team overachieves, that has a lot to do with coaching. So I don't know if the Knicks are destined to be back in the Eastern Conference Finals after firing Tibbs. The move is definitely not justified, and it doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Brad. That was my take in the group chat. I feel like the Knicks should have kept Tibbs, and Tibbs gets a lot of heat for playing his starters a ton of minutes. But T, as a coach, man, did you feel like the Tibbs firing was justified?
Yeah, maybe. In my mind, Tibbs is a guy that can just, take a like Rome said, overachieve, right? You can take a bad team and make them decent. You can take a decent team and make them good. You can take a good team, make them great. But and in this case, you just, you had a good team and made them great. You didn't make them champions, but you made them great. But bro, Tibbs is the kind of coach that wears on players, probably wears on ownership, things like that. It's his way or the highway. A lover hate guy, and that doesn't always play out long term. I mean, in the NFL, we've seen Harbaugh do it. You had some success, you get close, but when you fail, everyone starts to point the finger at you like you're the reason we failed. And them tight rotations and playing as guys in a blowout and just being resistant to matching up certain ways. I understand this from both ways. You kind of feel like the NBA is a star-driven league, bro. If you got talent, you'll get far. But it's kind of tough when you took a franchise to heights we ain't seen since. I don't remember. When's the last time the Knicks been to the Eastern Conference Finals, man? I'm trying to think back, man.
Sprewell? Allen Houston? Allen Houston and Sprewell?
I was going to say, yeah, Allen Houston, Sprewell. Did Amari Stoudemire and them go?
Melo? I don't think Melo made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, that's why it's a tough one, right? But I'm the type of guy to feel like if you can't win it all, you blow it up and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You got to be really bad or really good. I don't think the Knicks are a really good team. I just think they're a good team. They're a play-in, maybe 5th, 4th seed, and I think that's the extent of the Knicks. So either you blow that team up or you get a coach that can get them to that next level. And I think they might do both. I think they might blow that mob up, but we'll see.
Yeah, I like your point about Tibbs being the type of coach that can wear on players because he does seem that way. I thought if there was any valid criticisms of Tibbs during this run, and you kind of pointed it out, it was the tight rotations and where he basically brought Shamet off the bench late, brought what's my other man name he brought out there late. I don't know. He started using his bench, but it felt like it was too little too late. And those 7-8 man rotations, it's not really the way of the league anymore. And I think he's a little too much of an old school mentality, maybe. But it also might be a question of can you really do better with the squad you have? I don't know. Yet to be seen. I don't know if the talent if the talent is really there for a young coach to come in and be able to run with this squad. We'll see though. G is our resident Knicks hater, man. Did you feel like the Tibbs firing was justified, or was he the scapegoat?
No, it was inevitable for Tibbs, man. Tibbs knew that he had going into the season after he got Michael Bridges. He knew that he had to create a bench. He knew he had to develop some kind of player. Tibbs has never been known to develop nobody. The only outlier is Jimmy Butler. Besides that, can anybody tell me who he developed? He knew about Cat's game coming into the season. He had him in Minnesota. Cat has been the same consistent player without Tibbs and with Tibbs. So it's not like he made Cat any better neither, not defensively. And the fact that he had Cat when he was younger and never made a defensive kind of center. And that's always been my biggest complaint about Cat. Like, he does not play the paint. Like, for a center to be such a defensive liability in that position is just. Can any of you guys tell me how was Tibbs not going to was not going to get fired into the season? And I think the Knicks finally realized we have to do what the Nuggets did, fire our head coach, because we cannot go with the premise of he get us this far, but what are we going to be, just living off the past?
So if they would have made it to the finals, does he get fired?
Yes. If
That's a good question,
yes.
If they make it to the finals and he gets fired still, even if they don't, or even if unless they win.
Yes.
That's crazy.
No way he gets fired if they make.
He's getting fired, bro. Because by then, if it's a clean sweep, you're not gonna fire him. Let's say they lose those 4 games by 20 plus points. So you already know that he's gonna get you to the finals, but none of your stars are gonna be able to last a half, to have a competitive half. To at least win 1 game, and you're telling me you're gonna run that back?
Nah, I mean you making some points there, bro. I don't know. I just feel like if he makes the finals, he probably saves his job, and that might have been.
So I got a question. Knowing that the starting lineup, right? You couldn't put one of those players as a 6th man.
Maybe it could have been Josh Hart.
To create a bench. One of those was. From my personal opinion, it was either going to be Bridges or OG. One of those two would have to have come off the bench to create some kind of substance for your bench. That way, you could start. You could at least rest 3 of your starters if you could create a bench. But by the time those guys, in my personal opinion, I think Brunson needs to lose 10 pounds because not for nothing, he can't go to another playoff run looking that big and looking that exhausted. Going into a Eastern Conference Finals, I swear the outlier was that Boston series because it was just bad coaching from Boston, and people just wanted to chuck up the 3 all of a sudden, like they're the Splash Brothers when they're not that good of a 3-point making shot. It's an outlier because they're chucking up so many threes that it looks you chucked up like 63 and you made like 32, but damn, you chucked up 63s.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I heard somebody comment on Brunson's weight, but you might be onto something. He definitely doesn't look like he's very much in shape. I like that point, bro. I never thought about that.
He don't look like a point guard.
Yeah,
he don't look like a typical point guard to me.
Bro, he looks like a power forward at 6'2". That is absurd.
No facts, though.
And the fact that the outlier is big body Brunson, I'm like, dude, if I was 6'2", I would look like Brunson out there.
That's hilarious. It sounds like overall verdict is that Tibbs maybe didn't deserve to be fired based off the resume and what he's done with the Knicks, but it seems like what y'all are getting at is he was kind of scapegoated. They really had no other choice.
No, I didn't say that. Y'all said that.
So who are y'all? Okay, who's the blame? Who gets the number 1 blame for the Knicks falling short of making the finals? Is Tibbs number 1 on the list?
Tibbs, because he knew that lineup, and he knew that when he was going into a playoff run, what was going to be asked for, and the fact that Michael Bridges complained, Mr. Iron Man himself allegedly started complaining like, yo, it's too many minutes. An Iron Man complaining before the playoff run that has to be an outlier, in my personal opinion, that he didn't constructed not one bench, not a bench lineup.
All right, well, maybe you're right about that one, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what the Knicks do next year. I think that they probably hit their ceiling. Body shaming Brunson is crazy. Nah, facts though. My man definitely did body shame Brunson. But I do feel like the Knicks may have hit their ceiling. So what do y'all think? Next question about the Knicks. Last question about the Knicks. Did they hit their ceiling, or do they have some? Is there more on that apple to bite off? What y'all thinking there?
No, Knicks are done. Pacers are done, man. These are two teams that shouldn't even have been there in the first place. But the Knicks are done, bro. Like, and to G's point, I'm blaming Brunson for that series. And the defensive side of the ball, and he is too fat. You know, that's just to be perfectly honest with you. I don't care if you're a star player, bro. When the other teams running plays to isolate you on defense, to whoever got the ball, whoever he's checking, give him the ball, we're gonna score him. Like, bro, that means you're the problem. And if y'all remember, I said it reminds me of a little Isaiah Thomas. Like, you can light it up on one side of the ball, but on the defensive end, you're not really helping us. And they tried to help him, right? You bring in Bridges, you got OG, you got other defenders, but bro, Brunson, and I'm glad you made that reference to the Warriors, bro. You're not Steph, so Steph, we can hide Steph. Steph's gonna give us 40, 50. Steph might have a 60 game in him, but you're not Steph. You're scoring a tough 30, a tough 35.
Yeah.
And, you know, some guys a quiet 20, quiet 30. No, you're scoring a tough every possession. You got the ball. So I think the Knicks, bro, it's not enough for the Knicks, man. Nothing left. Not in the East. You know, not in any division. You got to blow that up, man. I think it's done.
The way
Yeah, no,
y'all
I agree.
Brunson is crazy work. My bad, Ron. Go ahead.
I,
Bro,
I agree with T, man. I think
Hold on,
this
Ron.
was. Go ahead.
I remember this play in particular, bro. I'm watching the Celtics. Brunson turns the ball over. Tatum plucks him. Tatum's 6'9", 6'10". Tatum plucks him around the 3-point line. Tatum dunks the ball before Brunson makes it to the other 3-point line. If a guy is faster than you dribbling and you are running for the ball, like, that's a problem. It's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I saw Brunson. You know what I'm saying, hurt him on defense.
Yeah, no, I think this was it for the Knicks. They went on their little. This was their run. You know, everybody will look back 2025 as an exciting time for Knicks fans, but that was it. Like, I don't think they'll replicate this. I think firing the coach is the first sign in the blow up, as T's describing it. And I think there'll be more to come. I don't know if this team looks the same next year. I think Cat gave us some crazy games, some crazy moments. I think that was a guy that overachieved a little bit. I don't know if he'll be that consistent in the playoffs again. I think I feel like the Knicks knew that this was their moment, and they tried to empty the tank. I think that lends into why they probably look so sluggish. But the tank is emptied, and you didn't get the chip, so time to start over.
You know what? Y'all might be on to something with that. I at one point I felt like the Knicks bringing back that Villanova squad and kind of putting all them boys together was a good thing. But the more I think about it, I feel like it could turn into something where it's like people that come from outside of that little circle never get truly accepted into that circle. And that's what I feel like is happening with Cat. I feel like Cat came in there and tried his best to save them boys. And honestly, he salvaged a game or two, you know, in that series, right? But overall, it was like they never really looked at him as one of them. You know what I'm saying? Now they pointing the finger at Cat like he was the problem this whole time. Man, Cat saved y'all, boy. The only win y'all got was because Cat put y'all boys on his back, man. But it'll be interesting to see who they flip Cat for because it's starting to look like that's inevitable. And we'll have to definitely track them next season to see if they, you know, end up anywhere close to this. Because it seems like all y'all feeling like they don't got no shot. Now, T, you know, jumped off the ledge with this one and said the Knicks and the Pacers are done, which is crazy talk. So let's get into this. Let's get into this Pacers Thunder series, man. It's time. NBA Finals. We made it through the long NBA season. We've made it here. I would say this is one team that, you know, you probably could have predicted early on in the season, but another team that nobody would have predicted in the Pacers. So let's start with the Pacers, man. They're coming off a really, you know, strong series in New York where I think a lot of folks favored New York in that series. And the Pacers proved that not only are they maybe a better roster, and I guess you could debate player for player, but they're definitely a better team in the way they share the basketball, the way they communicate, and the way they play defense. And I for one have been very impressed with the Pacers through these last two series. I just feel like they fit what basketball is right now. I feel like you got to basically have 2 point guards right now. I think they've got that in Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard. I feel like they've got shooting. They've got a guy like Neesmith that can hit 8 straight threes to win a game for you. They've got a guy like Mathurin who can light it up if he gets hot. They got a stretch big like Miles Turner who can shoot the ball. Siakam can get hot. Like, I really like what the Pacers have, and I'm not discounting their ability in this Thunder series. So before we kind of get into predictions and matchups, I want to get your thoughts on the Pacers, what they've done, and kind of focusing on what T said, that this is, the beginning of the end for the Pacers right here. Do y'all feel like this Pacers team has reached a ceiling and they kind of, here on a whim and about to just, about to be light work? Or do y'all think this Pacers team is a legitimate contender for this finals? T, you said it, so let's start with you here.
Yeah, man, they're not even supposed to be here, bro. The best thing that happened to them was Boston laying an egg and the Cavs being hurt. If the Cavs aren't hurt, we don't even talk about this Pacers team. I don't care if they've been around before. I don't care if they've made a run before. They're not that good of a team. If they was that strong of a team, what happened in the regular season? They won the top two seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this team is overachieved, and it's due to things just fall. Sometimes things just shake your way, man. Sometimes things just you get to kind of like the Bengals when the Bengals went on their playoff run. Sometimes somebody else takes out the juggernauts for you, and you just got to beat one good team to get there. And if you know how I felt about the Bengals, I told you boys that they'll never be back. I told you that they'll never be back. Same thing with this Pacers team. They'll never be back. You know what I'm saying? So if you on the Pacers, bro, go out, party, enjoy the town, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the championship. You're not gonna get a ring, but you can get a T-shirt. So go out and enjoy this, because you won't do it again in Indiana. If you're a Pacers fan, go to the finals. Even if you don't go to the game, just hang out, watch the game in the city, because it won't happen again. Not in your lifetime, not my lifetime. Just enjoy it, bro. Like, and if you just want to talk basketball, because right now I'm talking vibes. If you just want to talk basketball, they don't match up well. But just the Pacers in general, bro, the better teams lost. And, then they had a good matchup with New York that seemed sluggish, burnt out. And apparently they got a fat point guard. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get a fat point guard next round. You get a guy with a high motor that don't stop. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy that's probably looking at Halliburton like food. So, yeah, Pacers, honestly, I think I might bet on the sweep, bro. I might bet on the Brum. We might have to bring the Brums out, man. You know what I'm saying? And if the who got the odds, bro? If the line on that first game is less than 10, you know what I'm saying? I think Vegas doing some wheeling and dealing, some scheming out here. The line got to be double digits, because that team sucks. But
wow, oh man, T Boogie talking greasy tonight about the pay. No respect for the Pacers coming into this series. I think it was Scruff last week that said
The
that's
line is at
Pacers
9.5.
9.5. Well, I think Scruff last week said the Pacers thrive on being the underdog, and the way T talking greasy, man, just no shot at all, man. Damn, that's the bulletin board material coaches live for. And you did bring up one good point. I think that it's like, where were they in the regular season? I think the parity in the league has changed enough that, like, you don't have to be great in the regular season to be a playoff team or playoff threat. And I'll just remind you that the year that the Mavericks won with Rick Carlisle, with Dirk, and they got that chip, they finished third in the West. So it's not like they were, pole-to-pole winners in the West. They finished third, and hey, Pacers finished fifth. Maybe they can make something shake. We'll see. But damn, bro, I feel like you just completely counting them out. You don't think the Pacers style of play lends itself to, championship basketball, the way they share the ball, the way they keep the ball moving, it doesn't really get stagnant. Like, you don't think that solid play could, give them a shot in the least?
If they were the Indiana Fever, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the league, bro. I don't want to hear all that share the ball and you know what I'm saying? Hey, we move the ball around and everyone chipped in and we, bro, no. Say that for the 30 for 30. I don't care if Matherin can make a 3 or 2. You know what I'm saying? That guy sucks. He barely plays. He's trash.
Yeah, I'm shocked, bro. I'm shocked. As a coach, I would have thought you would love this matchup, man. I mean, these are two complete teams for the most part. It's not gone are the days of the big three. Like, you know what I mean? Like both these teams, I would say, pass the ball, share the ball fairly well. So I'm shocked, man. I'm shocked at all this hate. I understand what you're saying. It's a star driven league, and I'm leaning OKC as well. To me, this matchup is perfect for the NBA. If I'm the NBA, this is the exact kind of matchup I want. You got OKC, who's by and large been the best team in the league all year, right? You got the MVP, best record, yada yada yada. Then you got David. This is David and Goliath. You got David and the Pacers, who complete underdog. You just heard T ranting and raving about how they shouldn't even be here, how they suck for real. But yet here they are. They're here. They've met each moment that they've had and they've conquered it. And now they're here against the best in the league with a chance to upset them. Do I think it's going to happen? Hell no. But they're here and I think they have a chance. And I believe in the Pacers a lot more than T does. I don't think that they'll just like your Bengals take. I disagree with that one too. I don't think the Pacers are going to be gone. I think unlike the Knicks, they're a much more well-run organization. There's a little bit more togetherness with that team and that franchise. That city is starved. So when you get a fan base that's starved like that, you tend to keep that together, right? The Knicks got a bunch of haters in their fan base. CG. You know what I mean? The whole surrounding area, you got a bunch of love, a bunch of hate, toxicness over there. Indiana loves the Pacers, bro. They're gonna keep that squad together. The Colts suck. The Fever got Caitlin Clark, so that's just another reason for the NBA team to make sure that they look strong. I think Halliburton has one of the biggest chips on his shoulders, right? He was being clowned not too long ago. What happened with the Olympic team? I remember people making jokes about Buddy. Now look at him, right? So let's say he does lose this final. You don't think he's the type of player that puts that type of chip on his shoulder and comes back and doesn't find his way back in Indiana, doing it for the city? I completely disagree with your take that Indiana will be one and done and it won't happen again in our lifetime. I don't think they get this finals, but I do think they make it back.
No, man. Indiana bums. This is not a movie. It's not a movie. When players start,
they don't got to make it back with the same squad. You're right. This is not a movie. This is not a movie. There's a good enough reason why people are watching this. They're seeing the movement in Indiana. You don't think other stars are going to want to join Halliburton? You don't think they see the social media presence, Halabom or Halaban or whatever all the craziness online
What the
is?
hell?
You don't think that this is gonna? I think Indiana. It's kind of like my Commanders. They're the new hot thing. They're the new hot thing. I think that they're gonna parlay this into some years down the road. It's not the Knicks, bro.
Listen, man, and this goes for your Commanders too. When you start talking about no one expected us to be here, we're not supposed to be here. You've already lost the war. All right, because that means you didn't even expect yourself to be there.
But hold on, man. I don't think they're coming off like that. Pause. I feel like Indiana have the more mentally championship mentality than OKC. They have a head coach that won a finals.
Talk about it, G.
Against the juggernaut LeBron James and Wade and Bosh. And then you have another guy that won the finals against another juggernaut. With the Warriors, the KD Warriors. People want to say, well, people got hurt, but ain't they fucking fault they got hurt? People want to throw that. That's two champions right there on one team. Compared to you got this guy that just won his MVP. Congratulations. I don't think he should have won the MVP. I think my MVP, pause, is the Jokic, but that's a conversation for another day. In my personal opinion, I think Indiana is really are going in there. We just got to win one game here and win our shit back at the crib. We just got to steal one. And I think that's been the mentality the whole playoff run. We just got to steal one. And then shit, if we could steal one, we know we could steal two. And that's been the whole scheme, this whole playoff run. And I personally would think, and then what makes you think that, what the hell, he ain't got a chip on his shoulder? All postseason we've been hearing he's overrated. He's not even a budding star, let alone a superstar. He's just right in the coattail of whatever everybody else thinks. From my personal opinion, I think this guy's he just got snubbed of an Eastern Conference MVP ticket.
Talk about
You
it.
don't think he's gonna go there like, yo, man, fuck these assholes. I mean, defensively, he might get cooked, but shit, my son got the handles. You saw that step back too. Shit, you saw how KD hated that shit. He like, damn, he did a step back too. Went in overtime, but he didn't win.
Hey, G, you making some good points, man. I think I got into this a little bit last week. I feel like, the Pacers have more championship pedigree than the Thunder, and that could come out and benefit them as a team. I think that's one of the things that they're gonna have to rely on here. Like, let's not forget, Siakam been there, done that. The only player that the Thunder are going to go in with that's won a championship is Caruso, right? And we could definitely say Siakam's more accomplished in championship games than Caruso is, considering that he was a number 2 scorer, put up big time points in that Raptors chip. So I definitely think that the Pacers have that bit of pedigree. You got a player like Miles Turner that was around since the Pacers was making runs with Paul George. You know what I'm saying? So they've got some of that like old guard mixed with some of the new guard, mixed with like some championship experience. And like you said, Rick Carlisle on top of that, who definitely I think wins the coaching matchup here. So I'm not so quick to just, turn on the Pacers and act like they have no shot. I think they got a legitimate shot in this finals. I think smart money would be on the Thunder, but y'all know me. I say it every week. I'm an odds better. And when I see plus 700 for the Pacers to win a championship, I got to throw a couple dollars on that because, like, I can see a world where they're able to outlast the Thunder. And G makes a good point. They only got to win one at the Thunder's house. And I think they got an equal home court advantage. It'd be wild. It'd be wild in OKC. But Rome was getting at it, bruh. Indiana is back in that squad heavy, man. So I think the home court advantage is a bit of a wash. So it seems like we, outside of T, I think the three of us, me, Rome, and G, kind of agree that the Pacers do have a little bit of a shot, but smart money should be on the Thunder.
Well, speak for yourself. I'm taking it in. I got them all the way. I got them in 6, baby.
You got Indiana at 6?
In 6.
Yeah, I mean, I think Indiana can win it too. I predicted Indiana getting the series, but I do feel like I'm going out on a whim on that with that a little bit. I'm not taking the smart choice. I'm going with my heart a little more than my mind. But sometimes you go with your heart, and that's that wins you the big bucks. So let's talk about this series from a Thunder perspective. And before we kind of get into predictions of the series, which G kind of beat me to there, but let's get into like the Thunder and their play style and what about their play style makes them championship caliber team. So obviously, the head of the snake is Shai Gilgeous, right? And he's on a crazy run, bro. I mean, dog, some of that, I know y'all compared him. I can't remember who it was. I think it was T. Compared Shai and Jalen. One of y'all, I don't know, maybe it was you, Ron, but somebody compared Shai and Jalen to MJ and Pippen a couple weeks back in the group chat. And I thought it was crazy at the time. And then watching those closeout games, bro, against the Timberwolves, like, dog, them boys was going back to back, bro. And that Shai mid-range is serious, bro. Like, my man mid-range is serious. He's getting 30 a night, and when Jalen Williams is on, it looks impossible to beat when Jalen's on too. Now, Jalen has not been all that consistent during the playoffs. He was hella consistent in the regular season, but in the playoffs, and again, I think that lends itself to some of that caliber, right? Where he's still a young boy, and he gonna get there to where he's consistent in the offs, but it ain't there yet. So they definitely gonna have some big games from Jalen, but what are we thinking about like the Thunder's playing style and do we think that like I want to get y'all's overall thoughts coming off that Minnesota series. Like, how do we think that play style lends itself to championship basketball? When the game will slow down, it won't be as fast paced as games as we've seen, dog. We know how these championship series get. Ron, I'm gonna start with you, man. Do you think the Thunder are able to carry that momentum and kind of blow through this series the same way they blew through Minnesota, or do you think the play style will have to change a bit in the championship?
I don't think they'll blow through it the same way that they blew through Minnesota. So originally, I was thinking it could go 5. Now I'm leaning a little bit more towards 6 because, like I was saying, Indiana does have a crazy home court, right? I think OKC is known to have at least one letdown game a series, right? Where it's just like, what the hell? Like, what team just went out there? So you add that with the fact that Indiana has crazy home field or home court. I like Indiana's chances, especially when they're in Indiana. And if they still win, they can really flip the series. But as far as OKC's style, they're a deep team. I think when we were talking about it, when they were playing the Nuggets, we were like, okay, OKC has the number 1 player, but the Nuggets got the number 2 player on the court, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're like the OKC's number 2 is almost never as good as the other team's number 2. But to me, that doesn't matter because if you're telling me my 2 through 4 is, C plus or above, when you got 1 or 2 A's or B's or whatever, I like my team, my squad's chances. Because to your point, homeboy ain't been consistent in the playoffs at all, right? But you got other guys that can pick up the slack. Now, maybe they don't drop another 25, 30, but if you got guys that can get you 15, 20 consistently, then that's a tough squad to beat. And then you got SGA, who's definitely going to get you 30. So OKC is a complete team. They share the ball well for the most part. And SGA, like you said, the mid-range game is what stands out to me the most. I haven't really seen somebody this deadly from mid-range since like Kobe, really.
Nah, facts. That mid-range crazy, bro. And he gets to the spots very, very easily, dog. I think that's been the most impressive thing to me. He's always on balance, it looks like. G, what are your thoughts there, man, when it comes to the Thunder team, their play style, and how it lends itself to championship basketball?
The Thunder's bench, it's very physical, posed in a defensive way. Like, these guys defensively are a very physical team. They get to it. They know how to guard. The fact that you have a shooting guard fucking guarding centers, it's fucking nuts.
Luke
And
Gordon.
Alex Russo,
Caruso. Yeah. Yeah, but you're right. Nah, Caruso definitely did a hell of a job on Joker.
Like, I know Rudy Gobert is just a laugh around turn. Like, yeah, he guarded Rudy Gobert. I was like, all right. But still, like, you have I believe this matchup is going to come down to whoever bench is better. Whoever bench plays better defense is going to end up winning this series. And it might turn a little bit when it comes to the offensive. I think the Pacers have a little bit better of an offensive bench compared to the Thunder's defensive bench, which is just super physical. And it's going to come to, like, are the refs, not to put this on the ref, but are the refs going to let these guys be physical or not?
Yeah, good point. Because they've been letting the Thunder be super physical all playoff, but I also think that's been a result of how they played all regular season. I'm not one that just thinks like it's some sort of agenda out there for the Thunder to get the wins. Like, I really think that they established this play style throughout the regular season, and now, the refs aren't about to just change up on them now that they're doing the same thing they've been doing all year.
But I got a question for you fellas, right? I wasn't here for the last one, right? For the Thunders versus Minnesota, but I'm gonna throw this hyperbole. But do you think the NBA really hate the Thunder, hate SGA right now because they're officially about to start crowning an non-born American as a face of the NBA with this finals determination? I personally believe, right? My personal opinion, the NBA hates the fact that the Thunders are gonna end up winning this shit, and they're gonna have to crown the face of the league, and it be a non-American. I think
the NBA
my person.
When was the last American? I feel like who's the face of the league right now?
I think it's still LeBron, it's still Steph, it's still KD. I feel like these guys
are
still the face of the league.
Bro.
I think KD. I think the league is trying to lean itself into that, like, international
But I feel like the league still wants. I feel like the league still wants that conversation that it's still the U.S. guys above the foreign guys, and I think with this
I
series,
think we just all know that it's not though.
no,
Like I think we're all at the point, like everybody can accept that realization that the best ball players are not American.
I can't, even though I know the last 6 MVPs have been non-American, but I can't accept that truth.
I think overall, like Americans still running it. Like you just look at the Olympics, international play. But
no, I don't want to say that because come on, compared to other countries, you probably have 1 or 2 good players compared to the whole U.S., where it's just like we have great point guards, great power forwards, great set. Well, I think the U.S. loses when it comes to centers.
I hear what y'all are saying, and you might be able to make the case that America has a more plentiful of options, but the top stars, like the top of the top, are not American. Name the top 10 ball players right now, and I guarantee you, less than 50% of them are American.
No, I agree with that, Ron. But
I agree with that. I gotta agree with that. But I feel like the league hates the fact that they gotta agree with that. Because I still think you want to say that the best players are coming from the US of A.
IG, you derailing our finals conversation now. All right, let's get back to our topic of the Pacers Thunder. Right, let's stick on this Thunder topic because you the one that said the Thunder got this easy, right? What is it about their play style per se that makes you feel like this is going to be easy work?
I mean, it's not so much that they're playing 10 guys, but they're willing to play 10 guys. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing 10 guys because they have to. They're willing to throw out whatever lineup makes the most sense. You know what I'm saying? And I look for teams that where everyone seems to be happy, right? When I look at the Pacers, Mathurin doesn't look happy to be coming off the bench or playing them limited minutes. But the Thunder, everybody seems happy. Everybody seems to take ownership of their role, and that's tough to beat, man. That makes life easy as a coach. They kind of know their hierarchy, and when Jalen and I'm pretty sure I'm the one to compare them to the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Before they start their run, because I think they will start a run. But bro, Pippen didn't have somebody else to be like a dominant scoring option. But Chet scored over 20 points 3 out of the last 4 games. So if either one of the 1 or 2, you know what I'm saying, SGA or Jalen don't really have it going, Chet's more than willing to have the offense play through him. Chet could arguably go to another team and be the guy that leads the team to the playoffs on his own. And we're talking about somebody that was drafted to be a generational talent. I said that last couple of shows because I don't think people see it yet. Chet's one of the top players in the league, and you can look at his matchups with Wemby and some things.
Top what? Top what? Pause. Top what?
Top players. He's one of the top.
Put a number.
Top 25, top 20. Wherever.
Yeah, I feel you. The problem is he's only played.
I agree.
He only played like 93
when you say
games.
Top players, I'm thinking top 10.
He's played like 93 games.
I can live with that.
I mean, I think what we've seen in these playoffs has been impressive as hell.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young guy. You know what I'm saying? But he's a young guy that's not tasked with having to shoulder the burden of being the guy. And I think that's what separates him from like Ant and a couple other guys where Chet can actually develop on his own pace, on his own time, and the expectations aren't as big, aren't as lofty. If Chet has 15 and 8, you know what I'm saying, nobody's really mad at him. But the fact that he can go get you 22 and 10, 22, 10 and 3 blocks, bro, that's a game changer. That's a game changer. And for a Pacers team that can drive, can get to the hoop, can try to find matchups. I don't know, who do you attack on this team? I don't know where do you go to get buckets? Maybe Hartenstein, but even if you do that, we take Hartenstein out of the game and Chet, you play 5. Like we bring in Caruso. Now who do you attack? I think as a coach, man, from the Indiana side, I'm looking at this Thunder team like, where's the weakness? And I don't see one. You know what I'm saying? And if it comes down to who's going to
Chet, I think if you put a body on him, if you tell me that this. If you put a body on him, if you're saying this kid Williams Jay has been like inconsistent, well, you're gonna rely on that. but I'm putting a body on the bigger guy because you know he can shoot. He has a nice mid-range, and he shoots a three, I believe.
He can dribble. That's the thing. You put the ball on the floor. And as much as y'all was praising Nas Reed, now you got Nas Reed at 7'2". You know what I'm saying?
I think you bring up a good point, man. And it really starts to bring me to my next line of questioning, which is like starting to focus on individual matchups. And I think you're making some real good points with Chet, because what we saw those last 2 games is some of the best Chet Holmgren that I've seen, right? But I also think that was a dream scenario for Chet Holmgren's style of play. Like, you got 7'3" Rudy Gobert, who's moving at super slow-mo speed, who's not adept at covering the three-point line. So you got Chet hovering around the three-point line all game, and it just makes a lot of sense, bro, from a matchup perspective, why Chet will be successful offensively in that series. But I think when you go to the Pacers now and you're dealing with bigs that are a bit more mobile, especially a guy like Miles Turner, his backup coming off the bench is Thomas Bryant. We're talking about mobile bigs, right, where Chet's not going to be able to just float out on the three-point line, give a jab step, and blow by super easily. Them jab steps was putting Rudy Gobert in hell, bro. Like, it was one jab, one pump fake, and Chet spin moving and dunking off the spin. I don't think it's going to be as easy matchup-wise versus the Thunder for Chet Holmgren. But I do agree with you, though. That might be the X factor for OKC, bro, because you kind of got to assume that Shea going to get his 30, and if we really call in Jalen Pippen, then we're going to assume he's going to do his thing. Maybe it's 25-5, maybe it's 15-8-6, but we assuming he's going to do his thing. Chet might be the X factor there. Were you going to say something wrong?
Nah, I was going to say Rudy's supposed to be nice at defense, right? Like
protecting
Chet,
protecting the rim, not.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like Chet, to T's point, Chet got a bag, right? Chet can do multiple things. So if he's on, and then you got like that's a big 3 almost. Really, that's a potential big 3.
Man, I don't disagree with the premise. I think in that Nuggets series, offensively, Chet was not what he was in this last series offensively.
And that was a precaution. Every time we compare anybody to any of those Bulls individual, it goes sideways.
Compare these guys. I'm not ready to compare nobody to the Bulls, bro. And then T's disrespect to Horace Grant. The Horace Grant disrespect is crazy. Like, Horace Grant wasn't putting up buckets for them Bulls teams, man. It was no third option, man. Horace was going crazy. But I don't know. I feel like let's get into some individual matchups here, because I think that's the most interesting thing about this series. Y'all know last series I said the winner between the Thunder and the Timberwolves was whoever star played better nightly, right? And basically, out of the 4 games of that, or the 5 games of that series, Shai Gilgeous was better in 4 of them than Ant was. It was like 4-1, literally, if you look at Ant and Shai's production. I don't think this is that same type of series. I think we're looking at two different style of plays, right? Where it's like the Pacers are a much more balanced team than the Timberwolves were. But let's look at some of these individual matchups, because I think it could show itself. And I think one of the first ones is Chet versus kind of the bigs of Indiana. But how are y'all looking at this Halliburton-Shea matchup? Because Halliburton been hella clutch in this playoffs, bro.
Wait, why you put Halliburton on Shea? I'm not
saying like they're matching up on each other per se, like offense, defense, but I'm saying like those are the 2 players that make each team go. And if we're just looking at it from like who's got the advantage, right, as far as like Shea versus Halliburton, I think it's a lot closer than somebody would have said if they just looked at the finish of the regular season. The way these playoffs have gone, in my opinion, you could probably say Halliburton's been about as good as Shea throughout the playoffs, bro, especially if we evaluate the clutch factor that Halliburton has shown. So who y'all giving the edge to there, and who do you think that like it ends up being a wash between Shea versus Hallie?
A wash is crazy.
Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna let you go.
I think it ends up being a wash. Like, facts. I'm going with that easy.
SGA. I mean, they're two different type of guys. Where Hallie, his game isn't predicated on scoring. You know what I'm saying? He can score, but he's more of a traditional, run the team, run the show, kind of like a Jason Kidd. Like he's literally the Jason Kidd. You know what I'm saying? of that team, but SGA is a scorer. And he's willing to defend, but he's a scorer. He just keeps attacking. And who's going to defend? Who's going to defend SGA? Because you're talking about he's going to get his 30. I think we see a 50-pointer in this finals. I think SGA drops 50 at one point in these 4 games. Because who do you throw at him? Like who is his matchup?
I'm putting Siakam on him, straight like that.
Your best defender is Siakam. Hands down, your best defender is Thibodeau. Then who checks Jalen? Nembhard?
Would have to be.
That might be a push. All right. And now you got Miles Turner and Chet. All right. Give me Chet. And Miles isn't a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? It means something that you've been on that team and for all these years. And you know what I'm saying? But no. And I think he tortures Siakam. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like he has to check Siakam on the other end. That's the thing, right? Who attacks SGA to make him expend any energy on defense? You know what I'm saying? Because I think there's a matchup where we see guys offensively and defensive don't match up 1-to-1. You know what I'm saying? I do think SGA sees a little Siakam, sees a little just whoever we can throw, take a foul, do something. But I don't know, man. Just as a coach, I'd be worried. I don't see a matchup that OKC has in their favor. I mean, not OKC, that the Pacers have in their favor. My bad.
Yeah, to answer your first question, Bryce, I definitely don't. I think there's no chance that it's a push. T made some good points because Halliburton is a different type of player. He's very much a traditional point guard, right? Like in this new school, this new era, he's like a throwback player almost. Like he plays point guard like the way that I remember it being played. But he can score, right? He could drop 30 and he's shown that. But I don't think as far as like if we're looking at it like he's their star, SGA is OKC's star. I think the Pacers got to play a little bit more team basketball than OKC does to be successful. So I think we'll see SGA be more of that like star dominant player than Halliburton will be in this finals.
Call my man Jim Harden. That's crazy. Hey, but nah, I think y'all sleeping on Hallie, bro. I think it's definitely going to end up being a wash. And this is why I think this, right? Shea's been excellent this entire playoffs. Hallie's been excellent this entire playoffs. But there is no player that I would rather have in the final 2 minutes of a game right now in the entire league than Tyrese Halliburton, bro. Final 2 minutes, there is no player in the league I'd rather have, bro, based off what he's shown me in this playoffs, dog. And if you think otherwise, fine. But the facts say that he's the most clutch guy right now, bro.
I agree with you on that, Bryce. But what makes you think that it's going to be close?
Bro, because the Thunder have shown a propensity for close games, in my opinion. They've had a few close games. Couple against the Nuggets that went down to the wire. One versus the Wolves that looked like it was down to the wire. I think it's going to be a couple close games in this series, bro. And if there's a close game, there's nobody I'd rather have than Mr. Halliburton himself, bro.
Right, but the Pacers are going to need 4 of those. They're going to need 4 of those close games. 4 of those bombs. He got 4 bombs in him.
They might only need 1 on the road. They might only need 2 on the road, bro. Who knows? Who knows how it shakes out? What do you think, G? Do you think the Shea versus Hallie matchup is a wash, or you think it's one of them things where Shea SGA got the matchup 9 times, 10 times out of 10?
I can't discredit the MVP. I could hate, but I just think that I think if they let SGA score all the points, then they'll live with it. But they can't let the rest of these guys get anything close to like over 25 points. Like you can't let these guys his help go off. I think if you're the Pacers, you gotta live with SGA scoring all the points. I gotta live with him scoring 40 points. I gotta live with him scoring 50 points. But the rest of his cast, these fuckers cannot get anything close to 25 points.
Sounds like we can't let the other guys beat us. Jordan's gonna get his.
Exactly. It's like LeBron James. You're gonna have to let LeBron James eat, and you just gotta live with it. It's like what they did to Dwight Howard when he went off. When he had, I believe, when he was against, I want to say, Houston, not Houston, against the Hawks, they let Dwight Howard go off, but his starting cast, they put a minimum to that shit. They said, well, you're gonna have to let your stars eat, but the cast around him, they cannot go off. I repeat, those assholes can't score more than 25 points or get anything close to 25 points.
Listen, man, you can try to stop the rest of those. That's 9 other guys you got to stop, man. I mean, I even like Wallace, bro. Like, he can shoot the 3, he can defend, he'd dunk on you, man. I think he's such a underrated talent, man. Yeah, so I mean, if what G's saying is right, I think you still lose. I think you still lose. Like, let's let the other guys eat, man. Okay. They've been eating real good all season. They ate themselves to damn near 60-some wins. Like,
Yeah, I think this is one of the rare cases in sports where the team has been the best all year, has the best player. They're gonna win. Like, there's no secret sauce to this. You know what I mean?
Hey man, this to me sounds like history about to repeat itself, and so I feel like this is not going to happen. The more I hear this like OKC glazing going on, I'm just like, yeah, this is not going to happen, bro, because like it's too easy of a selection, bro. And I personally, as good as I think this young crew in OKC is, I don't think they're a great team, bro. I just don't. I'm not so. I think they might be the beginning of something great, but I don't think they're a great team. I don't necessarily think the Pacers are a great team, but I do like some of these matchups, bro. I do like some of these matchups for the Pacers, especially the fact the way they move the ball. So we're gonna see, man. I think it's gonna be interesting. Let's get some final predictions on the series so we can lock those in. And with that, we're gonna give our finals MVP as well. Ron, we starting with you, man.
OKC in 6, SGA MVP. I agree with T's earlier point. There will be a 50 burger by SGA at least once in this series.
Predicting 50 burgers, man. He might, yo, real rap. They got a JJ Barea, TJ McConnell. History repeats itself. I'm just saying. All right. T, who you got?
TJ McConnell is a bum.
They say that about JJ Barea too. All right, it's the playoffs, man. You don't gotta be great. You just gotta play your role.
You out there playing a coach on the floor, like, bro. Can't he even shoot? Like, bro, jump shot look like it's from the '60s. Listen, McConnell's a bum. Thunder in 4. This is a sweep, right? I think the toughest game is probably game 3. I know closeout games are tough, but the Pacers have fought the good fight. All right, it's time to go easy into the night. It's over.
All right, G.
Easy into the night.
Give me the Pacers in 6 because I can't say 7 because if it goes to 7 games, Pacers are getting smoked.
That's a good point. That's the only way the Pacers win is in 6.
Yeah, for me it's in 6. Yeah. I can't see it go past 6 for the Pacers. For me, give me the Pacers in 6. And all
see it get ugly.
And I think all these Pacers wins by margin is gonna be by 5 points.
I like it. And I think that lends itself to the young crew of the Thunder just not being seasoned enough. So I'm gonna agree with you on that, G. I'm going Pacers in 6. I think it's gonna be it's gonna be an all-time series, though. I honestly do. And again, my mind is telling me the Thunder, but my heart's telling me Indiana. I'm going with the heart on this one. All right, real quick, finals MVP. I'm going with Halliburton. G, who you got?
Halliburton.
Wrong.
SGA.
T.
I'm going with my guy Chet. You know, this is gonna be like one of them joints where Iggy got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with Chet.
So then, how the fuck is SGA gonna be cooking it? If this guy's throwing 50 burgers?
Listen, I said he's gonna get 150-point game. I just know how the NBA is, man. Like you said, if we give you the Canadian superstar, we can give you the American hero. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, go ahead. They got it. I feel you know on the balance right there. All right, man. Well, there it is, yo. We gonna keep these predictions. You know, we're gonna revisit these. FMVP JJ Beret is crazy. We're gonna revisit these predictions throughout the series. Interested to see how it shakes out, man. I think we in for a good one though. I'm not seeing sweep, but even if it's sweep, I can see 4 solid games, bro. Hopefully, we just get some good basketball, man. That's the hope there. OKC and 5 from Clutch Talk. All right. Everybody on OKC. I feel like that's the easy money right there, man. If you were odds better, though, you loving plus 700 for the Pacers. Any final thoughts, fellas, before we close this one out?
My Yankees are smoked, man. Those fucking idiots ain't winning no fucking World Series.
Bro,
Hey, G, what did we tell you at the beginning of April, bro? What did we tell you at the beginning of April? You couldn't even get to July, bro. We can't even get to July 4th, and now you already giving up on them.
We cooked, man. There's no way in hell you get hit with what was it, like 18 runs? And you give in the first game, you give it up after the 5th inning when you were up by 4 again. The Dodgers have the Yankees number, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We're cooked.
Hey, you already rotated to the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, man,
you might as well become a Guardian fan too.
They just got cooked, so I can't do that to myself. Are you crazy? Go Yankees, man. Paul Skeens to the Yankees, baby.
USC, JFC, OKC, and 5.
They loving OKC, man. They loving.
Final thoughts is
shout out to Glazing OKC.
Hey, listen, man. Shout out to Stephon Diggs, man. I seen the boy out there running routes, looking crisp, coming off. That's how you recover from an ACL injury. You lift BBLs, all right? You go rehab your knees lifting BBLs. Now, you might throw your back out, but your knee going to be straight. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to Stephon Diggs, man. You're on a generational offseason run. That's how you win the offseason.
Definitely a generational offseason run.
Word. You still your favorite rappers, baby mama. You heard me?
Crazy work.
Hey, Diggs about to put in work with Drake May this season, though. Don't sleep.
So you drafting Diggs in what round in fantasy?
Yeah. Bill Belichick would have had that man in free agency by now. All right, he wouldn't have stood for that.
Hey, man, I don't want to hear that. Bill Belichick's girlfriend looked like she want to be on that boat, bro. Come on now.
Hey, yo. That's his fiance, you know.
Like, come on, Bill can't talk no more.
The Patriot way is officially dead, man.
What was Bill's mantra? Just do your job. Just do your job. That's what Diggs was doing.
Shout out to Diggs, though. Definitely a generational offseason run. All right, fellas. Y'all know how we end each and every show. Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.